Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another speed build. I promised that I would build a base game mansion, and here we are. I built a base game mansion. Some of you have been requesting a base game build for a while now, and I've received a couple of comments. Basically, after I posted a video, no matter what type of video, a lot of you have been asking for a base game build, and of course I wanted to deliver. So I cooked something up and I built this mansion here. I built this on a 50 by 50 lot in Willow Creek. This mansion has 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. It's relatively spacious, but I used a good amount of this space for landscaping. I really wanted to have a beautiful house, but also a beautiful garden. So it's like a typical big mansion. Unfortunately, there aren't any 64 by 64 lots in the base game. So I decided to use the 50 by 50 lot in Willow Creek because it would make sense to build a base game build on a lot size that is not available in the base game, of course. But I have to say, I have been feeling a little bit too comfortable with 64 by 64 lots, so it was nice to work on a smaller lot. And tonight, Nifty Knitting is going to be released, and I have been planning to work on a kind of like a granny cottage maybe, but I don't know, maybe I'm going to surprise you. I don't know. I have to get my hands on this pack and then I will see what's going to happen, and I will take a look at build buy and all that, and then I will see what I'm going to build. But the initial plan was to build a Nifty Knitting themed house on a smaller lot. So there is, like, for a change, a different lot size, but we will see what's going to happen. And here for this build, let's talk about the base game mansion. I, of course, didn't use any packs, I didn't use any CC. In some areas, I used the tool mod, but not really, just for some small changes, just to lower a rock or something. So this isn't really a typical tool build. And of course, this build is unmodded in the gallery, and you don't need the mod to place the build, because whenever you are using the tool mod, it's still unmodded in the gallery, and the simmer who downloads the lot doesn't need the mod. So you can just place the lot and everything is kind of in the correct position and rotated, which is just amazing. And here I'm starting to work on a pool. I wanted to have some type of flower bed, and then I decided to place the pool below. But then eventually I had to make a couple of changes, because I then decided that I would like to expand the pool on the other side. And here I was just working with a regular floor piece or foundation piece, and then I built the pool. But then I decided to open up the foundation, then I raised the terrain and I built the pool below. And the reason for that is, as you just saw, I wanted to place a round foundation piece, and you can't do that. You can't just build or place a foundation piece right on top of a pool. You have to use the method where the round foundation is kind of hovering right above the water surface, and this is why I had to utilize this little trick. So in a couple of seconds I'm going to change the pool, but first I decided to work on the build itself. I wanted to have a really rustic, beautiful family home. Sometimes when I'm working on a house like this and I haven't put any colors on the walls yet, I really enjoy the white color, and then I just know that I just have to keep it this way. So I'm just adding some type of white siding or just any type of wall color really, and this is what I did here. Eventually I used this kind of wood siding that is white, and I just kind of, I don't know, I just really enjoyed this kind of color scheme. It looks really scenic, really rustic. And now I'm actually about to open up the foundation for the pool. I just used the room tool. When you hold down Control on your keyboard, you can remove floor pieces this way, which is like really simple and easy. This is how I like to do it. And then I placed my pool below the foundation. And as you can see here, you can't really tell that the foundation is kind of hovering above the water surface. It's not really visible, but you have to make sure that your Sims are actually able to enter the pool, because this way they can't, because they are on a different level. The foundation is above the pool, so you have to remove a part of the foundation, and then you could just add a pool ladder, or you just leave it like that. Sims don't need a pool ladder, luckily. They can just climb into the pool, which is amazing, and they can also climb out of it. And then I started to work on the landscaping. I put a huge focus on the garden. I really wanted to have a really luxurious, beautiful garden. And for this area on the left where I added these wood planks, this is a base game debug object, and it's already at this angle, so I didn't even use tool for this. I just held down Alt and my mouse button, my left mouse button, to rotate it a bit because it wasn't like straight, so I had to change the rotation a little bit. But you don't even need tool for this. This is just a base game debug object. I don't even know what you're supposed to use it for. I think it's like some type of fence. I don't know. And here, as you just saw, I removed a piece of the floor, and now your Sims can just take the stairs, they can walk down there, and they can climb into the pool, which is amazing. So it's fully functional. And I had no idea what I was doing when it just came to the house. I was just like adding more and more stuff. I really like to do this, but I didn't even have like a inspiration, like a reference picture or anything. I was just trying to make it work, and I just expanded the house more and more, and I really wanted this to look luxurious and really beautiful. And of course, it's always a bit challenging when you're working with the base game. Everyone knows this. I mean, I know that there are some builders who only build with the base game, not only because they only own the base game, but also just to give players great base game builds, which is amazing because anyone can use a base game build. Like, this is just the beauty of it, I guess. And here I was adding some type of sunroom, but I then got rid of this room because I felt like it was just too bulky. It's square. I didn't like the shape. It just, I don't know, was just too much for this kind of build and for the shape of the build. So eventually I changed this, especially because of the glass roof. I don't know, it was just too much. And then I built a chimney over there. I just wanted to have a fireplace on the outside. I also built one on the inside. Whenever I'm building some type of custom chimney, most of the time I make sure that I place a fireplace right at the chimney on the inside, because I mean, this is what it's supposed to be used for. So I most of the time make sure that it's a bit realistic. And I was going for this reddish beautiful brick color for the chimney because I felt like it was a nice contrast. As I said earlier, I decided to stay within this kind of color scheme. I used a lot of white for the exterior, so I then thought, okay, that's a slight pop of color, especially in combination with this roof swatch, which is of course also base game, and it's just beautiful. So there is a bit of warmth, also because of the floor that I used. It has some red in it. And maybe you have noticed it, but as you can see, I only have base game objects in the build menu down there. I didn't filter by pack, which is what I did like a while ago, like maybe a year ago or something, before I stumbled upon the Sims 4 Disable packs function by James Turner, which is just amazing. So you can find it on his website. I'm going to link it down below in the description box. So you can simply select the packs that you would like to disable. There's also a base game quick select. This is what I used, and then it creates a command line. And then you simply paste this command line in the advanced launch options, but all of this is explained on his website. So as I said, I'm going to link it down below. When you load up your game, all packs are disabled, or the packs that you chose to disable, and then you only have the base game, for example, which is amazing. The cool thing is you don't have to filter by pack. You can't add anything that's not base game by accident. So it's like really, really comfortable and convenient to build this way. I really like to do this. Ever since I've stumbled upon this function, I just use it all the time. I mean, it's not that often that I work on a base game build, but it's just an amazing feature. Also, if you want to build with limited packs, it's just so much easier, because I think at some point it just gets so tedious to always filter by pack, to always make sure to not add anything to the build that you like, stuff from a pack that you don't want to use in the build and all that. So I think it's amazing. And here at this point, I'm just making it look more beautiful. I used a lot of debug objects. So if you don't really use debug objects often, you may have spotted a couple of objects that you have never seen before. And some people think that it's CC whenever people are using a lot of debug objects, but these are part of the game. You can simply enter a cheat and then you can use all the debug objects. And there are so many amazing debug and environment objects in the base game. When you take a close look, you will find so much amazing stuff. And here I wanted to add shutters, and this is not a debug object. This is just, you can just find it in the wall decoration section, and it's simply part of the base game. You don't have to enter a cheat. It's a vent, but I like to use it as shutters. Unfortunately, there are not many swatches, but black is always a nice contrast when you use some white siding. I've done this before, like I don't know, over a year ago, and I just remembered that I had used this object as shutters, and it's just so beautiful. It's a really simple way to create some shutters. I know that there are some like proper shutters in the window section, but I have never figured out how to use them. Like, you can't really place them right next to a window, you can't place them right next to each other. It's like one random shutter, maybe, I don't know. I've just never figured it out. If you know how to use these base game shutters that are in the game, then just please let me know. I have no idea. I was never able to figure this out. It's like so confusing when you place them right next to each other. Even now, after the update where we have the free window placement, you can't, because then you have this weird visual glitch or the hole in the wall. I don't know. So whenever I want to have some shutters, I usually just use these. I wish we had some proper shutters which are just in the wall decoration section, not in the window section, because this is just trouble, as I've just explained. Just some wall decoration, something that we can place right next to the windows, over the windows, so we don't have any glitches. This would be amazing. So I don't know, I just really hope for this. We have a lot of these, I don't know, these balconies, these decorations that you can place right in front of a window or a door, like in Get Famous and in different packs. So I don't know, we have like a lot of these objects, but no proper shutters. I don't know, I want a petition for shutters. No, but maybe one day in a pack, I don't know. Then I added a gazebo, and I finally started to work on the front of the house, because here at this point I had only worked on the garden. I had worked on the back of the house, but the front looked a bit sad. And as I said, I used a good chunk of the lot just for the garden, for the landscaping. So now it was time to make the house look beautiful in the front, and I was kind of confused how to really add the stairs and how to make it look beautiful. On the right we have this kind of patio area where I used the debug object, this angled wood plank, and I just knew that I would like to add multiple stairs. So I wanted to have stairs that would lead up to the front of the house, just to the front door, and then I wanted to add some stairs so Sims would be able to walk right into the garden, right onto the patio. So I was kind of, as you will see, the whole stairs situation was a bit messy at first. In most areas of the house I used these smaller windows, but then at the bottom I used these big, beautiful base game windows, which are just amazing. So it's really like light flooded and beautiful. And here you can see the weird stair situation. And this was confusing because I then fenced off the area on the right side, and I noticed that there's no way to just, I don't know, walk up there. Like, I just blocked this off and it just didn't make sense. I really confused myself here, and then I thought, okay, that's weird, like it's leading nowhere. And if I would add more stairs down there, it would look weird because it's like random stairs everywhere. So I really had to work on this, and this was kind of confusing. And of course I also added this vent to create shutters in the front. I used these pale blue base game flowers in front of the window. So I don't know, the front just has the same style as the back. There just wasn't that much space left because of the back, and it's 50 by 50, which is huge, but when you are used to build on 64 by 64, it suddenly feels so small. Like, when I started to furnish, I was surprised that it's like not super huge, so this was rather quick, which was like surprising. Sometimes a house doesn't look big, but then you have to furnish it for like 2 days, so this was a nice surprise and a lot of fun. Furnishing with a base game is not easy, let me tell you that, and I hope you like how it like turned out, because whenever I'm working on modern base game builds, I feel like furnishing them is much easier. We have some modern objects and I don't know, it just looks good. But here I was going for this rustic kind of style, which is really, really difficult with the base game. And to be honest, I'm kind of just disappointed looking back. I know that they've come a long way, and the textures and the objects in general are so much more beautiful now, which is great. Like, you can see how much they have improved, but when I see some of the base game objects, I'm kind of just disappointed. Some of the furniture is like sad, and the whole style, it just looks dated. And I mean, it's not that long ago, you know, this game didn't come out in the 90s, and some of the objects, I just wish we had some more really cool stylish objects in the base game, and I know that they have added a lot of cool stuff and updates, which I really appreciate. This is amazing, but I think at this point the base game is what it is, and at least there are a couple of cool things. And as I always like to say, you can create some amazing builds using the base game, especially because you have to think outside the box, you have to be creative, and it's just amazing. And as you may have noticed, I added a rock to the floor. So whenever I'm building with all packs, I like to use this spotty lighting stripe. It's like supposed to be used in a pool, right next to a pool, God knows. And I like to use it to just have a separation between different floor colors. It looks really beautiful. And I got so used to it that I felt like in the back there was something missing because I used different floor colors and it looked so random, and I was just staring at this like again and again, and it was bothering me so much. I was just missing this object so much. Like I didn't even think, like in some areas of the build, I never thought, oh, I wish I could use this or that pack, but this object I really wanted to use it, but I couldn't, of course, so I had to figure out a way to kind of replace it. And then I used a base game rock. I just sized it down and I placed it in this way. It is the same look almost, so this is great. So I figured out a way to kind of replace the spotty objects. If you don't own spotty, but if you like this look, I don't even know, maybe you don't even like it, but I just am obsessed with this. You can simply use this long, slim base game rock, use the right swatch, and then just size it down, and then you can just use it like this. You can here see in the background that I've already used it, but I'm going to just finish the rest of the area, so you will see how I'm using it, and you will see how it's looking and how I did it, and I think it's so beautiful. And I also added another fireplace over there, and here you can see it. I just sized it down, and the look is so similar. Anyone here who knows my other builds, any one of you who's not new here knows that I like to use this object, and I feel like I really found a base game solution for this, so this is great. I also want to quickly mention and say thank you so much for all of your support recently, also for the shell challenge. Just so amazing. There are so many entries already. The shell was downloaded a lot of times and I'm just blown away. Like, I know that you guys already enjoyed my first shell challenge, but I was just kind of overwhelmed. I'm like really happy that you guys seem to like it, and I've received a lot of questions and I try to reply to them daily. Like if you don't receive a reply immediately, I always take a look at the comments, and there are a lot of questions and comments, so sometimes I take a while, but yeah, so some questions have already been asked in the comments, and someone might have already received the reply that you're looking for, so maybe it could also help to take a look at the comments below the shell challenge. And I'm just really excited. Like, what I've seen so far has blown me away. You are so talented, and it's crazy, even though it's the same shell, and the rules are super strict this time, like compared to my first shell challenge. I wanted to make it really tricky. I mean, this is kind of the whole theme, but even though the rules are so strict, you guys have managed to turn it into completely different looking builds, which is just amazing. Like, a lot of them don't even look similar, even though it's the same shell and you are not allowed to add walls or foundation pieces to the outside. It still looks super different, and I've already received a couple of questions that have shown me that some of you are like really thinking outside the box, and some of you are really making it work with some creative ideas, and this is like a lot of fun. I can't wait to take a closer look at your submissions. And in case you're confused, I made a shell challenge. The videos on my channel it's my last video before this one here, and you can enter. It's running until August 25, so there's still plenty of time left. You can win a key, so it's a lot of fun. At least I hope it's a lot of fun for you guys. I certainly enjoy seeing our submissions, and it's just wonderful. You can also tag me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @KateEmerald, or just type in KateEmerald. I have the same avatar that I have here, the green emerald heart. So simply tag me if you have built something, if you want me to take a look already. I'm just really excited. I just love this. And yeah, thank you so much for all your support and for entering the challenge. I'm like, I just love you guys. Also, I learn something new with every challenge, and this is only my second one, and I wanted to have the rules very, very strict, just so it's tricky. I tried to have a really tricky shape. I used the terrain. The rules are super, super strict, so you really have to think outside the box to make it look different from the other entries and all that. But I've already noticed that a lot of you are a bit sad that you can't add foundation pieces to the exterior, and I've already decided that for my third shell challenge, I will definitely allow to add any type of foundation to the exterior, just no walls. So this way you can just add a gazebo or a bridge or anything. Also for anyone, just a little advice, because some of you have been like little bit sad. If you want to add a gazebo, you could also use the terrain tools. You are allowed to use floor tiles just to change the color. You could use a fence around it and a roof on top. So yes, you are still able to build something like this. It's just more difficult, but there will be a third one, and I think I got the hang of it now, and I still hope that you enjoy the fact that it's like really tricky. This is what I was going for, and there will also be an extra challenge if you are not into this. I just hope that you have some fun. And here I've been working on the interior for a while now. Of course, I could only use the base game, and as I already said, I personally think it's a bit tricky to work on rustic looking base game interiors, at least for me. I'm generally not the interior wizard, but this is more challenging than a modern base game interior. This here is just a second type of living room. You already saw the first one in the beginning, which I think turned out quite nicely. The first one also has a TV, and this here are bedrooms. So there are 4 bedrooms in total, 2 regular bedrooms for adults or just anyone, and these here are 2 really typical kids rooms. I tried to make it really colorful. I tried to add a bit of clutter here and there. There's not much in the base game, but you can still make it work. And I was going for this crazy pattern for the carpet. I think this is like a giraffe kind of pattern, and it's a bit much, but sometimes this can be great for a kids room. You guys know I always try to have really colorful, fun kids rooms. The beds are like really difficult, like finding a good looking bed. I think the one on the left side, the pastel pink one, I really like the shape, it's beautiful, but for the other one, like finding a blue swatch was like really difficult. The same goes for these double beds, also really tricky in a way. This one here is more rustic. I think that this bed, for example, would be perfect for anything that you build in Oasis Springs. We got a lot of different objects that match the base game worlds, and you can easily build something that fits in Oasis Springs, for example. And I think this type of bed would be amazing for this as well, but here I was just going for this typical rustic look, and I was just combining a lot of different things. And this is the second bedroom. I tried to build some type of custom nightstand, and I just tried to make it look beautiful. And this is almost it, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and this build. This build is available in the gallery, completely CC free, unmodded. You can just place it and your Sims can move in. I didn't use any packs, so you only need the base game. I hope that your Sims will enjoy this build in case you let them move in. I hope that you will have fun playing in this, and I hope that you have a perfect week. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I see you in the next video, which should be a nifty knitting kind of build. It's just a stuff pack, but I'm still going to make it work somehow. So I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.